Ah, the Scout. One of the many classes that we all love and respect. But we don't know him much if we don't have his history. Today I will be discussing about the Scout, his past, his weapons, and maybe some odd things here and there. So, I think we should go ahead and begin. First off, we need to talk about the Scout and his history. I'll start right now on the information blog on the TF2 site. Pardon for my reading, I will try my best. Scout was born in Boston, Massachusetts, USA. As the youngest of 8 boys from the south side of Boston, the Scout learned early how to problem solve with his fists. With 7 older brothers on his side, fights tended to end up before the runt of the little letter could... Come on, brain. Don't do this now. I need to teach people this lesson. Mannerized, I guess you can say, into punching distance. So the Scout trained himself to run. He ran everywhere, all the time, until he could beat his pack of mad dog siblings to the fry. That was kind of a fail, but you know, information is there on the blog. You don't have to look at it. Now we all know that is basically a Scout, born in Massachusetts, but there's always questions. Like the Scout's mother, for answer. And obviously the father. But we know obviously the main reasons of his Scout. His attitude, his behaviour, and obviously enough though, his certain ways of growing up. It does explain of how become he's so fast and so agilitant. But with everything, he is a pretty funny class if he wants to, I don't know, pee you off or even just be a massive nuisance. And you can definitely tell he's very American and very Boston. And again, you can see the Scout has, let's say, less Boston compared to the Demo Man who's more Scottish. But knowing Scout that he's got to have a lighter side in him. And obviously enough though, he respects his teammates even though he can be a bit of a prat. But still, born in Massachusetts, fighting to survive, learning very quickly and becoming fast as he can, and learning from his 8 brothers. You can tell he's a perfect mercenary for an offensive class, and he's learned pretty damn well of fighting. Besides that, he does have a wonderful mother, as we all know, as she looks like. We don't know her name, which is unfortunate, but we just know her as Scout's mother. Along with that, we also know about the Scout's sort of interest with Miss Polis, as the certain SFM on a certain update shows that he has a very interesting crush with her, even though there is a major difference with both of them. Now his lines to other classes and comebacks. He has a variety of domination lines, and the other classes can actually have their revenge lines. Some of these lines, I'm hopefully they're a bit correct for each of the classes. 2 lines that the Scout dominate and the Heavy, 1 the Engineer, and a revenge from the Engineer and the Heavy. And obviously enough though, we love domination.
I eat your sandwiches. I eat them up. $400,000 to fire that gun, huh? Yeah, money well spent. Here's something you should have built. A not dying machine.
Go ahead and cry, baby.
Son, I'm gonna blow that dumb look right off your stupid face.
Interesting as it is, but funny it is, everyone loves the Scout and his funny lines, especially if you're a main. His main part and role of the team. Now we know what his main part is. He's an offensive character. What about his default weapons? He has a standard size shotgun, 6 shots, a bat, and a pistol. His shotgun is pretty much commonly used against classes. And even, yes, he will even take out the Heavy even in this. Doesn't matter, he will still win. because the Scout, being born and raised in Boston, can do his best. But besides along that though, he is pretty much used as a support role, mostly. Taking out stragglers, beating the shit out of people, as you can see. And if you were from where I was from, you'll be fucking dead. Which is true. True. There we go. And obviously enough though, with a variety of awesome weapons in its arsenal, you can change the Scout into whatever you like. With a variety of weapons, you know, you've got the Force of Nature, the Sandman, the Guillotine, the Milk, well, Mad Milk, the Boston Bash. So many variety of weapons, you can change the class in your own way. That's why people love Scout and hate him at the same time. Poor guy, but you gotta respect him in his own design flaw. Guess the reference to the Scout line. This is probably could be a reference, if you know it, to a certain someone that you probably guessed.
Look at this. Just caved in your skull. My bat's still dry. No clumps of hair. Nothing.
That is a reference to ShamWow guy, or Vince, if that's correct. Obviously, the Scout, very similar to the guy himself, but that's how people really recognise that kind of meme, I suppose you could say. I don't know if this is kind of a guess or a reference, but I guess you can kind of guess based in the comic A Cold Day in Hell. As we know, Scout has a dream, obviously, of him as a little kid, his mother and the spy. And him basically waking up shouting, "Spy's my dad! Spy is me dad! Oh, thank God, not a memory, just a nightmare dream. Where the hell?" Now this could be referencing or basically hinting that Spy is basically the father of Scout. We don't really know exactly, even though that Spy did shag his mother. In a way that we can kinda know as the poor innocent Scout. But still. Well, my final word saying that, as we know, simply for the Scout, raised in Boston, has basically, I think, 6 or 8 brothers. A loving, caring mother, Spy maybe being his dad. And, obviously, his teammates respecting him, but he can be a bit of an oddball and a bit of a pushover. And any sort of in-your-face attitude. Besides his abilities to double jump and being beneficial and manifest machine, he is a character that we all love and care about. Obviously enough though, it's very easy to know the Scout, and he's a very easy to understand class. Not really that much to say, but we all know who he is and we know what he does. Just don't get clobbered by his bat. That's for sure. Thank you for watching and have a nice bonk.
Grass grows, birds fly, sun shines, and brother, I hurt people. Boink! I'm a force of nature. Bonk! If you were from where I was from, you'd be fucking dead.